Hi, Achim here from InnerSpace Explorers, again with Liam.
Hi.
So, it's one of these videos like the two old guys from the Muppet Show on the balcony, right? So, this is another reaction basically on somebody contacting us after a video. So, we made this video here where we assembled a set of doubles.
Yep.
Basically, I did the video and Liam was behind the camera before I forced him in front of the camera. And so I got a message from somebody who said, well, especially in these more tropical or warm environments, you have to use a valve with a filter on the dip tube. So this is a normal valve from a scuba tank, and this is the dip tube. So basically, if you go upside down and you have a little bit of water, it collects around here and does not enter the valve, so it doesn't go into your regulator. And there is one or two brands that have an additional filter on here. It's like this size, a little bit thicker than my finger. I don't have one here, but obviously otherwise. I put a picture here so you get a better idea. So we are thinking a little bit, what does that person mean with in these warmer climates and or tropical destination? I mean, first of all, we're not in a tropical destination, we're at the Mediterranean. But nevertheless, I don't really get the point here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like an active filter, it's a mechanical filter. So
Stopping particles from passing through, basically.
I mean, an air compressor that delivers gas for breathing gas has a lot of filtration, particles, oil, water,
Hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, dioxide, all
So
all this stuff.
basically, all these filters are all these compressors have regular maintenance. I mean, we're still talking about professional dive center. So the compressor here, because we're sitting in the compressor room, as you can probably see, delivers the purest possible air. Annual service, maintenance, air checks. So
regular certifications.
yeah, what would that make better? I don't get the point. I never really. I mean, I knew about these before, but I never really got the point.
Me
So
neither.
It's not saying that. I mean, it's a little bit of a difficult one because I obviously don't want, like, don't buy this or something like that. I mean, if you feel better with it, I don't see any issues with it, but I don't get the point of why I would have to use one, especially in warmer climate. I don't get the comment on that.
I mean, the only difference that I personally can think of in warm climates compared to more moderate climates would be if you have an oil lubricated compressor, that oil can create more hydrocarbons in hotter temperatures, but then again, don't bring the compressor temperature up to a point where it starts creating hydrocarbon.
And then would that filter
Probably not.
filter the
If that would filter it out, then the sinter filter from the first stage would as well.
yes, and that's the question here. I mean, how much filtration do you need? I mean, you have a well-maintained compressor that delivers clean,
Bone
checked
dry.
air. Yeah. And even if there would be a particle or something like that going through, you still have a filter in the first stage. I forgot to bring one, but it's small, these little
Small conical
brass huts
filters.
basically that sit in the first stage. I'll put a picture here so you have an idea in case you've never seen an open first stage. So if we talk about like carbon monoxide or things like that, that would not help. I mean, that's an issue that the compressor has. So you would have like an additional filtration system that could probably fix that if it has a flow rate that fits the compressor. We talked about this before in like a personal filter, as they were called. But that's a different topic that I do not really want to get into. because that could be a separate video. But there's also a lot of like, do you really need that? And then in which case?
Yeah.
But that actually brought us to like the camel safari. You're somewhere in Egypt and you're in the desert and you're filling with a small like fuel-driven compressor or something like that, where probably the filtration is not comparable to something like that. And then, but still, I mean, which compressor would spit out particles that you need an additional filter in a...
Yeah, I personally can't think of anything. I mean, again, especially considering, ideally you're not breathing straight from the valve anyway, right? You've got a regulator, which has an additional filter.
Well, I have a video where I'm breathing from...
Yeah, so maybe then you need one of these
Now,
dip tube filters.
I'm
for
just
that video,
thinking,
yeah.
I mean, the two of us goofing around and not preparing ourselves accordingly, we haven't checked what these filters can do. I mean, so would they prevent water from entering? Like,
Well, I mean, that's what
better than
the dip tube's for, right?
yeah, generally, unless
Yes,
you have a
it
lot of
extends
water.
the dip tube. might have different issues then.
Yeah. We actually talked about the rust thing before, which I found interesting.
Mhm.
So a friend of ours told us about a regulator that was returned after service and it had this brownish powder basically inside, and it turned out that that person was breathing from an extremely rusty tank, and that actually went all the way through the regulator, and you could find
In
the rust
hoses, on
residue.
the membranes, everywhere.
Yeah, which made us like, how did this pass the filter in the first stage? Because if you look at these, they are extremely small,
Very fine mesh.
from the mesh. Yeah, so that could be like a potential thing. But I mean, that's one of these stories like, oh, I never heard about this. So the question is, do I need to prepare for that?
And then again, are you bringing your own filter on your vacation to the tropical islands, or are
Yeah.
you just renting the tank anyway, and then they won't open up the tank for you to screw in your filter? I can tell you that.
It's an interesting one. Would we do that for a test? I don't think so. But we have perfect air here. Yeah, so as always, if you have an opinion on that, if you have experience with it, if you had an incident where like that filter would have saved the dive or
Or if you have
whatever.
a deeper understanding of how those filters work.
Exactly, if you're way smarter than us or you Google more than we do before we do the video, then feel free to give us a comment and educate ourselves a little bit. And other than that, stay safe, see you in the next video, and if you like those videos, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.